The Prime Minister leading by example as he arrives at the third National Cabinet meeting this week.
Daily routine.
Inside the room, unanimous agreement on unprecedented new restrictions for indoor venues. Cafes, bars and restaurants now only allowed to have one person per 4 metres.
Now, if you've got a meeting room or something like that that's 100 square metres, then you can have 25 people in that room.
It's feared those limitations will see thousands of businesses across the country forced to close their doors.
I'm concerned about any business going broke, but with these issues, what we need to do is to take the health advice.
The PM adopting warlike rhetoric, imploring Australians to follow self-isolation procedures that look likely to remain in place for 6 months.
So do it for your fellow Australians.
The Chief Medical Officer with a similar plea.
This is your civic duty.
Landlords also told they will need to make sacrifices as the states work on rent relief for households and businesses.
And everyone does have that role to play.
Schools remain open, but with the Term 1 break just around the corner, thousands of holiday plans look set to be grounded. After earlier this week warning Australians not to head abroad, it's increasingly likely an historic domestic travel warning could also be issued.
We will consider further advice on that, and we know that is necessary to do so in time for the school holidays.
Advice coming too on what could trigger a lockdown in cities, suburbs or towns, with the National Cabinet set to consider the toughest quarantine measures ever seen in the nation's history.
We need a consistent approach to how this would scale up in the event of outbreaks in particular parts of particular areas.
The Prime Minister has flagged that income support will be a central feature of the second economic stimulus plan, with the government streamlining a series of welfare payments in anticipation for a surge in applications.
For those most directly impacted by the economic downturn.
The PM has left the door open to allowing workers to dip into their superannuation.
We should be very cautious about any circumstance whereby we see it as just a bank account.
Parliament will return on Monday for just a single day in order to legislate its stimulus response, but it most likely won't return in May as the federal budget is pushed back until October.
The idea that you can actually put together any sort of forecasts around the economy at this time is simply not sensible.
A warning that little about this virus crisis can be predicted. Trudy McIntosh, Sky News, Canberra.